as of November 30th, we had, the declared securities on the market value, have an excess, pledge of that, 8,000, $8 million, $500,000. And then if you look at the book value is even higher than that. So we're in good shape on our pledge deposits. I would call your attention to, we have 3 CDs that are maturing this week or shortly. We have a total of $1.8 million, a little over that, going to be maturing on the 19th and the 20th. And so my recommendation is to move that into government investment pools that we are opening up.
How much cash do we have right now that's not in CDs? That's, do you know what our cash position is?
I did not run that.
Well,
I pulled one for them this morning, they all have one.
because I mean, the other, I am 100% in favor of investing in these investment pools, but I would think we want to have a balance between CDs, kind of the long-term, kind of locking in a long-term interest rate, and then the investment pools. And so I'm not opposed to investing these in the investment pool, but I'm also not opposed to investing those back in CDs and taking some of our cash and putting it in the investment pool until we need it at a later date. I think they're both both ways are a decent way to move forward.
The last page has the terms on it now.
Oh, there we go.
It's
I know
talking
we've got-
about the treasurers, that's all.
I know we've got $4 million in our money market fund.
Yeah. So either way, it's fine. Are we open yet? We're not open on our investment pools yet, are we?
We shortly, within this week, we should be open up, but, you know.
So just, it looks like we've got 2.5 million in CDs right now, and a little bit over 4 million that's in money markets.
Right.
And that's including all the precinct funds and the general fund. Well,
Well, no, there's
no.
4 million just in the money market, and so our general fund has probably
5
3
million.
million. Oh, well, maybe short.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, in the general fund, but there's all those others.
Right.
too.
All of those are
Okay.
dedicated in that. But
So what's the court's advice on the CDs that are expiring this week or next week?
Probably get a 5.3 CD right
Yes.
What did we take?
These were, and, you know, these are automatically renewing. I told her to hold off on that, but, you know, I could relay the message, if we wanna let them renew again and they'll keep with their accumulated interest.
I think, I mean,
And then
We should-
our tax money that we get in January, we can then consider that
yeah,
as far as, into the pool.
I would just say roll those CDs over, and then, once we get the investment pools up, then we can talk about how much money we wanna take just out of our cash account and stick it in the investment pools. Like, I mean, we've got a lot of accounts that could probably benefit from being in that investment pool.
Do we want to stagger those CDs?
Yeah, that's what I was fixing to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we
We
should.
need to stagger those CDs if we do that,
Okay.
because I feel like we're gonna start seeing a regression at some point. A little bit.
Have some come out earlier.
Then you
anyway.
benefit from a longer term
That's what I'm
CD.
saying, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, I think we need to scatter them out there along the way.
Yeah, maybe do some, maybe one of those CDs you can do as a 2-year CD.
I don't know if those rates won't be 5.3.
No, but they'll be 5, won't they? They'll be 4
So
something.
I should have brought this.
Well-
I should have brought the rate sheet in, but I didn't.
now. The last rates I got, surprisingly,
Yeah.
long-term still was holding pretty strong.
Well,
Maybe not.
yeah. Why don't we?
Even if it's 475, it's still better than 0.5.
Well, I understand that, yeah.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've
let's,
seen that.
let's reinvest those in CDs, but stagger them. And then once we get those accounts open for the investment funds, let's talk again about taking some of our cash and putting those in investment funds.
Should we split that one and at least half it and make two
Yeah.
CDs out of it instead of one?
I think so. I think you're right.
The $1 million.
Yeah.
$1 billion.
Maybe take
Because
that one.
we have two more CDs, coming due, in January. And then, other
March now.
250,000 are going to be, staggered out like we.
Yeah, you could almost do like the 200,000, you do that as a 3-month CD, the $630,000, do that as a 6-month CD, and the $1 million one, split it between the 1 year and the 2 year.
Mhm.
And then you kind of get some staggering out there.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Kyle.
Second.
Motion to accept the report. We have a motion from Commissioner Wiley to accept the treasurer's report. We have a second. Second from Commissioner Cresswell. Is there any discussion or comment? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Is there something for us to sign on?
No, I mean,
Oh,
the clerk.
You can't turn that.
item
It's coming
number,
down anyway.
item number 6, consider the auditor's budget amendments and vouchers payable. Madam Roberts?
Sure you wanna see the vouchers payable this morning?
I don't know if I do. Could you please have a seat?
Yeah, you might need
How many
to.
trees did you kill?
Well, this is for your statement of expenses we're gonna go over shortly. In this run, we had to pay our net data maintenance, our annual maintenance, and it was $242,000. We paid the fire department their $125,000 because they always have to pay their insurance. And we also have in here, we paid these are just some of the big items, our quarterly to the appraisal for $62,000. Having said that, the total is $621,019.12, and out of the general fund is $596,316.52.
It's just one of those things where a bunch of regular things just
The
hit.
end of the year, we
Yeah.
always have, and there is Don's butane included.
Okay.
So moved.
We have a motion from Commissioner Cresswell. Do we have a second? We have a second for Commissioner Shook. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? We have one abstention. So 4-0-1, motion passes.
So I would like to start doing this on a quarterly basis. I went over, just y'all glance over the statement of expense. And you want to
Oh,
copy
this
that?
is nice.
It'll show what we've spent, what's been taken out of the budget somewhere. And a lot of things you'll see are, if they're 100%, they're probably just paid once a year. Everything should be around 80% unless it's something that we pay, but it'll show every office.
So for example, yeah, if it's less than 80%, they're a little bit, they're outpacing their,
Well, or it's something that's paid once
Sure.
a year, or partial payment like quarterly, on the quarterly payments like the appraisal office. And we do that quarterly.
The public defender's already got a star.
Well, that's because, see, it was more and I haven't moved that money over to.
so it looks like,
Because see, it was 11,000 and we only budgeted like 60 or 70.
JT3 is spent some money.
Yeah.
But he got he got some office
Yes.
furniture and stuff.
And that's what he budgeted that for, so he could get his office
Yeah.
furniture.
But
So that's kind of expected.
Right.
his insurance though was out of whack.
And like our ambulance fund, we've already spent 70% of that, but that's because we paid all the CFD.
I put it in my bag.
Yeah, 'cause that probably should have been. Let's do that.
I like this report, Cheryl. This is,
Year to date, more expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
This is
good to
helpful.
kind of, to go over, and, I'd like to, like I say, pull it quarterly, y'all can go over it, quarterly, take it home, call me if you have any questions.
I need this report so I can show our new district judge that he doesn't have.
There you go, spend that. And also, you know, if, we can also pull the statement of revenues and go over where we're at on those.
Oh,
If you
yeah,
want to do that,
that'd be
or do we
interesting.
put it on the next one?
Okay, so thank
Good
you.
deal.
Give you some homework.
Absolutely. All right, we'll move to item number 7, which is discuss and consider employee bonds. We have Brenda Roberts, juvenile probation, administrative assistant, $5,000. All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Rogers. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Shook. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. We'll move to item 8. Consider the extension agent's November reports, request for reimbursement. These are in your packet. Penny Barron, $334.90. Savannah Williams, $789.28.
So moved.
We had a motion from Commissioner Wiley and a second from Commissioner Cresswell.
Yes, sir.
Any discussion or comment? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. All right, item number 9, discuss the November activity report for the jail and sheriff's office. Chief Moody? Good morning. Thank you.
Something wrong here, the last one, like. Last time I was there,
Did y'all get my summons for all the no-show jurors? Did y'all receive that to deliver? I kind of think we talked about whether we were gonna have the constables do it or y'all, and I wanna say Babcock Sheriff wanted them in his office to deliver.
I'm not sure on that, Judge.
Well, we started with 22, and I was able to resolve most of them, but I have 9 that both didn't show up and didn't respond to my letter, so we're gonna have court summons for them. And we're gonna have a hearing first thing in the new year to address why they didn't show up for jury duty. On a positive note, they had district court upstairs on Friday, and apparently they had record attendance of jurors. So the word's out. So it worked.
I'm not sure what we received or what's been served yet, so
Okay.
I can find that out.
Yeah, we're good. So are y'all, as we get into December, does business tend to pick up December, January, kind of holiday time?
Holiday season, it is the season, we rock and roll quite a bit, so. Sheriff's already got some matters taken care of this morning, he's out here. Beverly's got a fire inspection, I believe, going on right now, so, in jail.
got 21 Bell counties in there, 3 pop ones, 0 bad.
Bell County's up. This is kind of the highest Bell County we've had in several months.
So we just got a new batch, either last week or week before.
Since June.
Last week.
Are they all felonies, the Bell County ones?
Yeah, they're all waiting on the best chain or.
Preparation.
questions or comments for Chief Moody? All right, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Bill.
All right, item number 10, discuss and consider the tax resale deeds in Alney, Texas. With parcel 9244, the winning bidder was Brenda Joyce Pratt for $2,065. Parcel 9240, winning bidder was Michael and Amanda Pace for $4,933. Basically, these are properties that were sold at auction for not paying property taxes. Some of those taxes are due to the county, thus we have to ratify those sales. But the city of Alney has requested that we ratify their sale of these properties inside the city limits.
I'll make the motion to ratify those two sales.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Rogers. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Cresswell. Any question or comments? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. I will sign those for our court after the meeting. All right, item number 11, discuss and consider the alcohol vendor contract for the Young County Arena. Eric Garrity's here to discuss it, and just for reference, I put the arena's alcohol policy in the packet too, in case you were curious. We're not here to discuss the alcohol policy, but if you had a question, I wanted you to be able to see it.
Just for the record, on the agenda, it has Grant Ingram on there, and Grant, we had a scheduling conflict, Grant had to be out of the airport board meeting this morning to discuss a bunch of issues with the pilots out there, so I'm gonna try to do my best. I do wanna mention and remind everyone that Commissioner Wiley and Commissioner Rogers serve on the board of directors for the arena. They were intimately engaged in this contract process and the alcohol policy development process. If it's okay with you two commissioners, I was gonna kinda tee this up. Yes, sir. And then y'all tell me also, Commissioner Rogers, is that all right? Okay, so the judge mentioned we're not here to discuss the alcohol policy, but I did want to mention a few things that bear on the contract. Within the alcohol policy, it's a very detailed policy. What we're trying to do is bringing alcohol into the arena. The board took it very seriously, make sure we put some constraints and restrictions on there. Some of the highlights that I've heard about that I do want, there's no glass containers allowed out there, right? We do want to be sensitive to the livestock and the folks that are out there, right? There's no liquor allowed, right? It's gonna be beer, wine, and seltzers only, right? And there are other restrictions in there, particularly a restriction on youth events, right? There's no alcohol sales during youth events. Any of the advertisement for alcohol has to come down. In looking at the contract, it's Lake Country Catering, and the principal there is Lane McMillan. We did go through a formal request for bids process. We only received one responsive bidder, and that was Lake Country Catering. I'd be happy to answer any details that's contained in the contract, but some highlights in there are what the arena will collect is 20% of all gross sales for any events that are done by the caterer. This also solves a problem with this Barclay Room event. Some of you may remember a while back, we had what was essentially an alcohol-related incident. There were some bad things that happened in the Barclay Room. For the Barclay Room now, you have to use this alcohol vendor if y'all pass this contract, right? And the other thing is, it's not just wide open. If they do want to have alcohol at an event, under the policy with this caterer, they have to go to Tony Elliott out there, the event promoter does, and coordinate all that. So it's strict coordination by arena personnel out there. Commissioners, did I miss any of the highlights on this contract?
So you're saying people won't be allowed to furnish for themselves at future events?
We had a long discussion. There's only one exception to that, and I do want to mention it, is the food truck festival, right, is a big, it's a big revenue generator for the Visit Grant folks. They have a deal where they charge a cooler fee and they like, without that, they basically can't hold the event. So the arena board allowed them, they're the one exception. The food truck, it won't be this contractor, it will be the cooler fee. But other than that, Judge, the answer to your question is yes.
But, one note, each promoter or renter of the facility can say yes or no to alcohol sales. I mean, we're not gonna push it on them and say they're gonna be here every weekend. They have the right to refuse them. but if they do wanna serve alcohol, they have to go through our contract.
And there's rules in place in there on certain sizes of what they have to make it safe during this time.
Well, I think this is great. I think not only will it enhance some of the events that we have at the arena, it's gonna be a nice revenue source as we're trying to take the arena from the red to the black. I think this is wonderful. I'm excited. I appreciate the work y'all done on
With the
this.
outside vendor, we take some of the liability off the county too.
Yeah.
County and city.
Does anyone have any concerns about this? I think it's wonderful. Well, if there's no concerns, we'll entertain a motion to accept this new alcohol contract, right? Oh, there it is, yeah. Alcohol sales agreement for the Young County Arena. We have a motion? Motion from Commissioner Wiley, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Commissioner Cresswell. Any discussion or comment, concerns? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Garrity.
Thank you, Judge.
Y'all ready for the 10 o'clock bid openings?
What? Of course we are.
One more minute.
I'm recording.
Oh,
I had to.
you got official time?
It'll take me a minute to get my.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna skip to number 13, which is the open and sealed bids for road material, asphalt products, culverts, tires, tubes, and fuel. While the lovely Madam Roberts is opening these, I just wanna ask the court, do we need to have these under a sealed bid versus each commissioner, as long as it's under the $50,000 limit, each commissioner being responsible for finding the best deal for the best circumstances for them? I mean, I guess I'm.
Work better in certain situations, like us needing to go to Breckenridge to get our rock, as opposed to going here, because it's so much closer.
We'll discuss that because Nicole Ellis is here with Zach Burkett.
Okay.
I've discussed that with her.
Okay.
So that's the first thing I opened was the rock bids. And I will go make copies, but we did get one from Stevens County Limestone, which Burkett does the crushing for
Okay.
that.
That's good.
And I don't know if we just need approval or written approval, but we don't need to use both. Okay, and then I also got 2 culvert bids while I'm making copies. I'll go ahead and open them.
So what, I mean, I'm just curious, I mean, I don't participate in this process, so I don't necessarily have a dog in this fight, but it just seems like it's a lot of work on our auditor's office and, you know.
Well,
each-
I mean, as far as the bids for the rock, it's not an issue. They all have copies of.
Yeah.
It's the fuel bids we're having some issues with, and, you know, they'll call me fuel, and one of them I'm waiting hours for,
Sometimes days.
sometimes days, and, you know, they've already called the other one, I have bid, and I'm not getting it, and it's mainly for the sheriff's office, but it's also for
Yeah.
some of the precincts too.
I don't know, to me, it just seems like everyone should just kind of, as long as you meet with underneath the deadline, I mean, the guidelines or the limits. I think-
Yeah.
It won't open now?
No.
Even if it's over 50,000? Right, but, or.
You gotta, you can't just.
That's all we do. I hope with
precinct
everything
by
else that you
precinct by
said.
precinct. You gotta do this as a whole also. You gotta add up.
Look, legit on our.
You can't just say, well, precinct 1, that's 20,000, precinct 1, 2, that's 5,000, precinct 3, 300.
Really?
That's right. It's a whole.
It says last
That-
updated on
It
Friday.
just seems like, huh? Do they make you look at all your rock bids for the whole year?
All
Not
precincts.
project by project?
All precincts.
Huh? I didn't think it worked that way.
Yeah, you know, they like to try to jack the prices up and stuff.
You get a full year.
Tires, we can go with state bid, and it really doesn't matter. See, we buy them on buy board.
See, she's burning dollar bills back there. Well,
And fuel is usually done best price of the day. Because we probably don't get a fuel bid, but we don't have a fuel bid for the whole year. So our policy is just every day.
so why did we include fuel on this?
Tires.
Because totally it's over 50,000 in the statute, ours is to do it.
Oh, okay. Learn something new every
Well, if we look at it in the individual buy, I never spend more than probably 10,000-15,000 on fuel at one time. So that doesn't require a bid, but
What about the sheriff's department? Do they get included with the precincts on these things?
well, I mean, they have to call in for bids just like we did. My problem of it is if I call one and, I get a bid from Alney Fuel, and then I call out here and get a bid, they don't return the call or the bid for 24 hours. Alney Fuel still been trying to honor their bids, but the fuel market's fluctuating every 2 hours. So once they give you a bid, they may have to go up or go down, and if they're hanging in there trying to keep their bid what they quoted them at, and these guys ain't doing it till the next day, it's not really fair to,
I get that.
or vice versa. I've had it save me money once, and I've had it cost me money more than once.
Ms. Audrey,
Yes, sir.
if we wanna buy something,
Yes.
that $50 deal is, $50,000 deal is
Per
per
vendor.
vendor.
Yep. So
But does it add up to one purchase or every purchase?
every purchase.
Okay.
That's where we got to be really, really careful.
Because as far as that goes, you wouldn't have to get bids for one load of rock either. Whenever you go get one load, but once you get 10 loads,
JDMs.
or 2,000 loads, it does.
There's the culvert.
Did that plastic culvert deal, see?
That's what this one is, I
Okay.
laid down first.
Okay. Yeah, they called me wanting to know who to get a hold of, and I sent them to you.
How are we gonna get those here? They're gonna deliver?
Okay, here's the,
Yeah, well, they thought they would,
Yeah.
but we'd have to order several of them.
okay.
Looks
So
like PVC. Plastic.
on the front is the
Pretty stout, too.
Stevens limestone on the rock, and then on the back is the Sacker. Did I give you one of those? And I'll have copies for you. Oh, that's the rock, both of them.
Okay.
Together.
I can tell you on the rock deal, it doesn't make no sense to me to bid anything, take it, except anything other than bucket, but on Scott's hand, it saves him fuel to go to Breckenridge sometime to get rock.
It makes total sense,
So-
because your jobs are over there.
I feel like we need to accept both bids on that.
And Burkett is in agreement.
Yes, we are crushing for David Wimberly at Stevens County Limestone.
And we have done this.
Wait. Attorney David Wimberly has a rock deal?
Yes.
His son, relatives, his son.
I'm not 100% sure which generation it is.
No.
Yes.
So, but
Very interesting.
Mhm.
I've seen like Wimberly real estate signs over there. I just assumed it was a relative of his. No? deers and skunks and all kinds of things that eat.
So they're calling it a patch and pave, that's the same thing as that Proline?
Yes, Proline, Patch and Pave, ASPPM. There's another name that they call it, Patch and Go. It's the same thing. And then the hot mix cold lay is different.
Yes.
One you use tack with, one you don't.
These are.
I still don't understand it.
So on the culverts, one was for, is it for plastic culverts and one's
Yes.
for metal culverts?
Yes.
So there again, it's something, totally just
Totally
depend on what you need, we could accept those bids on that also, if that's what you want to do.
We've done that before.
Yes. Yes, we did. Of course, on the tires, I guess we'll go state contract
Yes.
on that. What, did y'all talk about the fuel situation?
What you call plant two is the hot mix plant by the leach field.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure I wasn't going to the wrong place to get it.
You're not gonna find any at plant one, and if you drive all the way to plant 5, more power to you.
Okay.
How many rock pits do y'all have right now, active?
Four limestone locations, 1 sand and gravel, 1 hot mix plant that is under our control. Then Burkett has a hot mix plant in Wichita Falls over by the airport, and then they also have a portable plant that they do road jobs with Texas.
Impressive operation.
Well, as long as they've been in business.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should accept all the rock bids and culvert bids just in case we need them. But, fuel bids, I think we need to put a time limit. If they don't respond in so much time, we should be able to make sure that we can go ahead and get the bids that we're sending into them.
Okay, is that in the form of a motion?
Yes.
So a motion to accept all rock bids as presented and as to continue to get bids on fuel, but to put a time constraint on that and for bidding the fuel.
For the purpose of getting it there when we get
Of course, of course.
So what, three, if we don't get something within there, because usually they'll even call back again and request it again, because we wait, and we still don't. So 3 hours, 2
Yeah.
hours? I mean, I don't know how,
Give them 3 hours. If you order it in the morning, by noon, the market price can change. And it makes it fair to the distributor anyway, that way to where you're not delaying them 24 hours and fuel jumps or falls or whatever.
y'all need to note down the time that you call, that way you can tell us, we can mark it down and watch for the bids.
Okay.
All right, so we have a second or an amendment to Commissioner Cresswell's motion.
I need to ask one question about the sheriff's department. Those are what we consider first responders.
What's your question?
Would that fall into the same head?
It'd be awful, but if they don't respond in 3 hours, they can go ahead and order it. That way it can be there.
So making that time limit as short as even 3 hours.
Yeah.
So that makes it almost,
And what's that for law enforcement?
how
How long?
It'd be the same 3 hours. I mean, if they know they need fuel, I mean, I know what, as first responders, they need fuel in their tanks. They don't need to be running out.
And they're good about trying to, especially if it's coming up a weekend or holiday weekend, holidays. Chris, I think, actually is the one that usually checks it, and he'll call us and say, okay, I called for bids, and we just hadn't been getting another bid at all for them, and he says, all right, I'll call them back, and we still don't. And so they have to get it, because it's coming up, they're gonna run out of fuel.
Yeah. I think if we give them 3 hours to get a bid back, and you call them that morning, If they don't make a response, you can go ahead and accept the other bid.
Okay.
Is there a second to Cresswell's motion, or would someone like to make a different
Different motion.
motion? All right, so we have a second from Commissioner Shook. Any discussion or comment? All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstaining? 401. And did you get the motion? Thank you. All right, so basically now we're gonna be able to allow a much quicker, shorter
Right.
term on those fuel bids.
So we did the rock and codes all in one bid.
Yes, we accepted all those bids as presented and,
Fuel bid.
allow for shorter timelines on responses to fuel bids. We'll see how that works.
Well, the rock and the culverts, they don't change, but that fuel bid changes every time you call in.
All right, so we're gonna back up to item number 12. Discuss and consider request for materials from the Texas Department of Transportation in their fiscal year 2024 local government assistance program. So they allocated to us an amount of $16,236 in local government allocations, and they've requested us to submit to them within 45 days our request for their surplus materials to be distributed in the fiscal year of 2024. And they warned that surplus materials not requested by your county will be made available to other counties. So they've asked us to let them know if we want the $16,000 worth of material, and then they've asked for us to kind of put information on here as to what we want. So, the question is, do we want to accept the 16,000? I can't imagine we don't. And then I'm gonna need you guys to probably get with Cheryl or somebody to fill out, I don't know how y'all fill this out as far as to tell them what you want, but, I don't know how to do that for y'all. So I need some help, but, would someone like to make a motion to accept this surplus material? Motion from Commissioner Wiley, do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Shook, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. So I will sign that, and then y'all can, figure out how we wanna fill that out to, get what y'all want. I know we've gotten stuff in the past and it's been pretty useful.
Well, I've got signs, mailbox posts, and stuff like that.
Oh, man. They replaced the culvert out on 114 last year, where my county road come out to get 114, replaced the culvert. So I went down there to try to get some used materials out of it. They said, no, you've already used your money. We put that culvert in. I said, I can't let me do it, that culvert, that's in your driveway. So we'll use your water for that culvert. I've already got a place out there that's supposed to replace back in September. I know the culvert coming to a farm market road, and they got culverts built, bought already. So they'll probably take those culverts out of this spot. So I'm just wanting to know, if y'all go to get 16,000, they probably already taken some of it off.
How could they
There's
use our
already-
allocation into their right of way? That doesn't seem right.
No, they might, on some of them, they won't replace them, you gotta replace them.
Even though they're their right of way?
They're there right away and they want you to go out and do they will come flag the highway for you. And you've got to do the replacement, yourself as a county. They'll supply the materials.
On the flip side of it, there's another county that they're trying to get one of their county roads converted over to TxDOT because, you know, it's just become, and it's not a county road anymore, it's a major thoroughfare, thank you.
We got explained to at that last school we went to in Vernon that the county is not, or the state has not taken county roads in since what, the 80s? So, good luck to them on that one.
Well, they're getting that, they're.
Yeah. Well, if they succeed, I've got one we need to work on next.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 14, discuss and consider entering into a contract with Renee Bates Auctioneer, Inc. to conduct online auctions for Young County. The contract is in our packet.
I think the main thing too is to look at what option we wanna do, either 7.5% charge to Young County or 2.10, or 10%, charge to the buyer and retaining off whatever they get, so.
I say 2% buy premium.
Okay.
For the lot,
I-
I think you're done.
I think for starting off, I agree, let's see how that works.
Yeah, cause I know in any other auctions we've ever had, we don't pay
We don't pay
anything, they
anything.
get it from the buyer.
Right.
Yeah,
They should, most people would send me to know that's how it operates.
yeah. So,
I'll put
So I
that
have a
in.
clear-
10%, so you're making a motion that we accept the contract as presented and we select a 10% buyer premium?
Yes, sir.
You can sign that.
Yes. So we have a motion from Commissioner Wiley, do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Cresswell, any discussion or comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
Scott, if you'll get, we will fill that thing out on the.
Okay.
The band that we're gonna sell, let's see.
Sure
And
enough.
y'all did decide $2,500 minimum, so.
So I don't know if you do a minimum on that.
You can have a start-off price.
Start off.
Yeah.
She said, yeah, she said
Yeah.
they didn't, but she said they'll have to start, but if you don't get it, then I guess we have to pay the commission, that, I mean, we don't.
We're trying 25 and go
I think it'll bring that to
from
you.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, most of those, the other ones you looked at, like 6,000.
45,000, yeah. I don't think I have a problem bringing that.
Okay, item number 15, discuss and consider the purchase of a 2023 150, how do you say that?
You're 150.
150 Caterpillar motor grader from Warren Cap, financed through First National Bank Leasing, Stewart Cobb in Wichita Falls, Texas. Commissioner Shook?
Yeah, I ordered, we have an 18 model, we need to just kind of aged out, doesn't have many hours on it. And so I called last January when I took office to order one, and I didn't think we'd ever get it, and they called and said it was in. So they gave us a good trade-in for today's market. And I can get rid of an older grader.
Okay. Are you making a motion to,
Yes.
to approve the purchase
I
of the
would.
2023 150 Caterpillar motor grader?
Yes, please.
All right, so we have a motion from Commissioner Shook. Do we have a second?
I'll say.
We have a second from Commissioner Wiley. Are there any comments, discussions, or concerns? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
So it also includes the lease contract that I have on.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this is not on our agenda, so I guess we really can't have any formal action, but has anybody, got any concerns about the burn ban? Or the lack of a burn ban? Are we all good?
On that grand,
It's not on
Okay,
no, you forgot it.
so just, I don't think there's any, I have no concern about it, but, just wanted to, just in case someone had a concern, this is a good opportunity to talk about it. All right, then, item number 16, would someone like to make it? No, not yet.
Okay. So moved.
We have a motion to adjourn, Commissioner Wiley, do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Shook, all in favor? We are adjourned. They need to look at Cheryl's to make sure that
Cheryl,
works.
we started pulling out
I just
the
was giving you a heads up.
It starts January 1st.
January 1,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Hi, Nicole.
We've not met yet.
Brought you with all my problems.
Mark has already signed my side.
Okay. Appreciate it.
I haven't brought it up.
Maybe all I have to
But I brought it up with Jay.
Jimmy,
And
did
they're
you
saying
want
they're
to
having
talk to the lady with the
some people just
plastic
won't.
covers?
Like, they just need to get their hours out of something, and there's just a couple of people that are willing to take all
Always
Still,
around
because he's
here.
killing them on overtime.
Lady wanted to do it today.